So we've been meeting for about a year now, and we are nearing the end of our meetings together.
Yes.
Yeah. How does that feel? How are you feeling about that?
I feel like a lot has changed in a year. And I'm grateful for the help you've given me. I'm a little scared about what changes will happen after we end this. I mean, I'm still caring for my husband, and I know we're in a stable place with his health, but it probably is going to stay stable.
Yeah. That's a very reasonable concern that you have. You know, like, what are things going to look like? You know, you've learned how to do this stage, but what about when things change?
Yeah.
So do you feel like the things that you've learned, so we talked about you're able to leave him and you're able to leave the house when he's with a caregiver.
Yes.
And you've joined this aging in place group that your neighborhood has.
Yes.
And you're able to leave and have your daughter come watch him so that you can go participate with that.
Yes, that's been great.
And you've been walking the neighborhood also. Do you feel like the things that you've learned are things that you can utilize in the next stage?
I do.
Okay. Because a lot of the stuff that we've been trying to work on is just coping skills. Like, just things that you can use with any stressor in your life. Like, the underlying things we've been talking about are like being able to trust other people, you know, delegate. Because a lot of when you first started, you were very hesitant to allow other people to take care of him.
I was.
Yeah. And so getting comfortable with, you know, not having to be that person all the time and making sure that you make it onto your priority list. Those are skills that you can use with anything, not just this situation.
It has helped.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. So you, can you think of anything that you wished had happened? Like, that over the last year, like, is there anything that you were like, I really thought that this would have improved or this would have changed and it didn't?
Well, I mean, his health, that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're at our maximum of getting help in the house.
Yeah.
It would have been really nice to have found a way to get help at night.
Yeah.
But that's just not in the cards where we're at in our life.
So regarding like our sessions, like, is there any skills that you would have wanted to develop that we didn't address?
No, I don't think
so. Okay, good. So what was your favorite part? Like, what did you think was the most helpful that we talked about?
Well, most helpful in the beginning was honestly coming for help. Because that did force me out of the house. It forced me to depend on other people. And so that beginning led to everything
kind
else.
Of broke the threshold.
Yeah, led to everything else for me. And then being with you helped me to think through other ways of being more comfortable. Once I had done it one time and everything went okay, so how do I deal with it? And then when we've had some issues and some caregivers weren't very good, adjusting the list and you helping me work through the list of the resource I provide to the people who come in the house helped me continue to grow in trusting those people.
Yeah. And just letting the other people do their job.
Yes.
But making sure that they do a good job.
They do a good job.
Right. How are you feeling? Like, what kind of feelings are coming up as we're approaching the end?
I feel proud that I'm coming to the end. I'm also sad because I won't get to see you anymore.
Right.
I've enjoyed talking to you, and you've been a person that I could share everything with, you know, not just, sometimes I feel like if I share the really hard with the people around me and being part of that aging in place, I've met a couple other women in the neighborhood who are in my position, or at least different stages of my position. And so that's the beginning of trying to develop it but I can't be it all negative. And so you help that not be just coming in and talking of how bad things were.
Well, and the people that you're working with, the people that your friends and people in the Aging in Place group, they're also going through it.
Yeah.
And so it's better to find somebody who isn't facing the same thing that you are at the same time, like somebody who's had experience with it in the past or something like that. It feels easier.
Yes.
I find.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I feel very similar. It's really been a pleasure to work with you for the past year, and I feel like you've accomplished so many things, and you've grown so much. If I were to say to you on the first day that you came in, did you know that in a year you'll be leaving your workers with an instruction sheet and going and walking the neighborhood during your...
I would have told you no.
Right.
I would have told you no. That was never
Right.
going to happen. I wouldn't do that to him. But
Right. And so now you realize you're not harming him anyway
yes.
by taking care of yourself. And so it's been a pleasure to walk through that with you.
Thank you.
Do you feel like if you were to be, like if I asked you, do you feel like we have, like, is there anything that you would like to tie a bow on, like anything that's left on the table that we haven't finished in particular?
No, I think we have finished this stage of where I am with him.
Well, I really appreciate you pointing out this stage, because I want to tell you that we can have follow-up sessions as well.
Okay.
So I'm happy to meet with you again in, a month, 3 months, 6 months, kind of slowly, just to see how you're doing. Because sometimes it feels like, you're ready to end it, and then you find out things changed, or you actually weren't,
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. We just go, oh, okay, well, that's information we needed to have. And so then you can start up sessions again.
Okay.
If you feel like you need to.
Okay. Thank you.
And going forward, I would like, I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but I think that finding ways to spend more time away from home, like your daughter's been coming in and watching him while you go with the events.
Mm-hmm.
You can do an hour easily.
Yes.
You've repeatedly done that. I want you to try and challenge yourself a little bit to get 2 hours.
Okay.
Like one chunk, 2 hours.
Okay.
And so we've talked about that. That's my goal for you going forward, is you didn't think that you could do an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and he was okay.
Okay.
See if you can give yourself the gift of 2 hours and
Okay.
see if he's okay.
I think I may have to work my way up to that.
Yeah. And it'll be the same way. You'll do it the same way that you did it before.
Okay.
So we can definitely get on the books, like any of those follow-up sessions. I recommend like 2 or 3
Okay.
at just different
Intervals.
intervals going out.
Okay.
And then you can let me know how you're feeling and how you're doing, and then I also get to find out
Okay.
like how you are.
Yeah.
Another thing that you're going to be facing coming up is the process of grieving the relationship that you had with your husband, and also his eventual passing. And I know that's very difficult, and that's going to be very difficult. And I'm going to recommend to you somebody that specializes in that.
Okay.
I just want you to have it in your back pocket, because when it hits, you're not going to want to have to find that resource.
Okay. Okay.
You're going to want to have that resource
Yeah,
lined
because
up.
I don't. Not right now.
No,
Okay.
but you're going to want to have that in a drawer where you can say, now it's time for this.
Okay.
And you don't have to do a bunch of research. So I would actually touch base with that person, have a meeting. Usually therapists will do like one session where you can just get a feel for them, the way that I did when we started
Mm-hmm.
out. And you don't have to pay for that. Like, they'll do 20 minutes.
Okay.
I would go ahead and meet with that person, find somebody. I can give you a list of the
Okay.
people I recommend. Find somebody that you want to work with, and kind of just so that when the time comes, you're not having to look that up.
Okay.
And also, I'm happy to meet with you a few times while you're in that process to help support you in that process as well.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Do you have any other questions?
No.
Well, it's been really nice knowing you, Grace.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.